In our last sitting, we were on page 98 and we were discussing the hymn number 13. The last line of that hymn was, Vad Samrat Sada Datara, Gurmukh Naam Japiye Tariye, Sat Nanak Virli Jati Jiyo. अमोघ दर्शन जल्द अपारा वड समरथ सदा दातारा गुरमुख नाम जपिए चित्तरिये गत नानक विरली जाति जियो. So the message being delivered to us was that creative energy, that all-powerful energy never makes a mistake. Amogh, the one who you can never lose, the one who never misses anything. Vad Samrat Sada Datara. He is greater than the greatest, and he is always, irrespective of the time. So how do you get closer to him? Gurmukh Naam Japiye Tit Tariye. You do the job till you get to a stage, Sat Nanak Virli Jati Jiyo. That rare situation where you get to become one with one. And we've been discussing, basically trying to find out what is the reason why we need to do all of that, because there have been a lot of questions concerning that. And we've been discussing it. In the next hymn, it actually expands on that very question as to why. Why it is recommended and why it should be done. And the hymn starts by saying, Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina, Gariba, Anatha, Tera, Mana, Sab kuch tu hai mere pyare, Teri kudrat ko ban jai jiyo. Whatever is happening because of you. You said it, and it's being done. Kahea Karna. Whatever you have said. And we have been talking about when we say, is this good or bad? In that discussion, we have been talking about that there's nothing good or bad. Both are his rules. Both are his options. Both are the possibility. We put the label on it for good or bad. As far as he is concerned, he is not putting any label on anything. Kahea Karna. There is nothing in this universe that you can think of doing that he has not allowed. If you want that a lion should start eating the meat and instead eat the grass, that's not going to happen. If you wish the cow should start eating the meat and stop eating the grass, not going to happen. The rules, the don'ts and the do's all have already been decided. And they are cast in concrete, they are firm, nobody can move them, nobody can shake them, nobody can change them. And it's not just for one person, it is universal. Around the globe. You can go and see it. You can try any. And mystics particularly are very, very particular about this. that even if there was a possibility that they could do something that was out of the ordinary, they will deny it. They will not do it. Sikh history is full of such events where there was possibility that with the help of mystical powers something could be diverted. It was never done. Same is the case with Christianity. Jesus had the mystical powers. He could have averted all of that if he wanted to. But he never used his mystical powers. Ninth Master could have done that. The whole argument with the Ninth Master of Aurangzeb, who was the emperor at that time, that was the only argument he had. That the people are saying, whatever you are saying is false. But there are other people who are saying you are a mystic. All mystics have mystical powers. Just show me one mystical power and we will completely write this thing whole off. And Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur said, absolutely not. Mystical powers are not for display. They are not self-glorification. They are not self-promotional. They are his gift and he keeps it and he uses it when he wants to use it. Humans have no right to do that. Mystics don't do that. The true mystics don't do that. So whatever he has said, Kahea, Karna, whatever is being done is because you have said it. Because you have already proclaimed it. If the day is, it is because you wanted it. If night is, it's because you want it. Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina. Whatever you are giving is the only thing that can come to us. I cannot grab anything from anywhere else. Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina, Gariban, Anatha, Tera, Mana. Now we need to take a pause here because it's saying the poor one and the helpless one, they are dependent on you. Tera, Mana. Does it mean that those who are rich and have some power, they are not dependent on him? Obviously not. It can't be. They're also his creation. Then why say Griba Anatha Tera Mana? There is a hidden message in it. This is not very obvious. Anyone who has any kind of power likes to display, likes to show off. But anyone who doesn't have any power, doesn't have anything to show off, remains humble. Humility becomes his second nature. Whereas, people with any kind of power like to show off. They forget completely that that power is a gift from the highest self. It's not their own creation. If I have a lot of money, then it's not because, well, you worked hard all your life. Well, there are lots and lots of people working very hard and been working very hard all their life. But they don't get the reward. Why not? Because it is His will. If I have anything, because He ordained it, He gave it to me. If I don't have anything, it's because He wills that I am not going to have it. Now I can argue the point and say, no, I deserve it. And that's quite alright. I may be king in my own mind. That's okay. The most important thing to remember is that he looks at it that same way or not. Because if he does, it would already have happened. You wouldn't have to recommend him anything. So that's why it is saying, Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina, Gariba, Anatha, Tera. Those who are not with lot of access, power or wealth to show off, they stay humble. In humility, they lean on you. If we notice, one thing is universally true. We remember God only when we are in trouble. God does not appear on our consciousness unless there is some sort of trouble, unless we are unhappy with something that's going on in our life and we want it to change. Now, a mystic would want to ask a question here. This trouble should not come to you. Okay, then if not to you, to who? Well, don't give it to me, give it to so and so. Why? Just that I don't like it. But does your vote count in this? Somebody seeking your permission? Should you get this? Should you not get this? We sit down and then make theories about it. Had I done this, then this would not have happened. Who's making all these theories up? The mind is building this drama. As far as what is going to happen, what should happen, what needs to happen, has already happened. And there is nothing you can do about it. There is lies the problem. We fall into a discussion. Well, you just said it. Everything is going to happen according to him. So then I shouldn't do anything. I should just sit there and say, well, go ahead, do what you want. No, that's not what's implied here. What's implied here is that anything and everything that's happening has already been determined by him. That's all. You are not going to create new rules. You are not going to create new options. You are not going to create new possibilities. Whatever you will do, you will pick the choices out of the choices already determined. It is so simple, yet so complex to get into our mind. Well, you said it, everything is according to him. I didn't do anything. He put the thought in me. Oh, he doesn't put the thought. He opens up all those possibilities. Muhammad was asked that question. Ali Baksh asked this question that if Allah does everything, then what's my role? Muhammad told Ali Baksh, the questioner, his name was Ali Baksh, he said, Ali Baksh, stand up. So he stood up. He said, pick one foot. So he picked one foot. After a while he said, now pick the second one too. I can't do that. So why not? Because this one is already up. You see, that's the answer to your question. I didn't tell you to which foot to pick up. I had asked you to pick one foot. That was your choice. And the Allah's choice is that so long as you have one foot, you cannot pick up the other one. That's Allah. Both of the feet cannot be picked together. You have the freedom to pick either the left or the right. But you do not have the freedom to make a new law and say, I'll pick both of them together. So, when you will be picking a foot, you will be picking according to His law. Everything is being done according to the law. The law says, human has the right and the flexibility and the freedom to pick any one foot at any given time and point, any given point in time. Having done that, if he needs to pick up the second foot, he has to first put the other foot down before he can pick up the second one. Now, how complex is this to understand? But it doesn't get through. It still doesn't get through. We talk and discuss and discuss. And he here is very clearly hammering this thought. Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina, गरीबां अनाथां तेरा माना, सब कुछ तू है मेरे प्यार. Everything is you. Had I picked up the left foot, it would have been him. Had I picked up the right foot, it would have been him. I didn't pick any foot, it has been him. You cannot create a new option. That means everything is according to His rule, according to His law, according to His wish. Thy will be done. All of the Romans could have been blinded at that time, and the storm and the rain and everything could have made it so impossible to punish Jesus' body the way they did. That was possible. He could have done that miracle. It's in His power to do such things. He could have struck the lightning, but none of that happened. Why? Because that was His will. It was within the realm of possibility, but not according to His will. We keep on saying, well, this could have happened too. Yes, that was in the realm of possibility. That could have happened too. But that wasn't His will. What happened? Whatever was His will. That's what. तू है, सब कुछ तू है मेरे प्यार. Whatever happened is happening, including this. We are sitting here together and we are discussing Gurbani and we are trying to learn from Gurbani to the best of our capabilities. We could be doing something else too. But we are not. So why not? Because this was possible to change for us and we chose this. The choice is available. We chose this. There are others who haven't chosen. They could have. They decided not to. Those who decided not to, they are doing according to His will. Those who choose to are doing according to His will. Neither one of the choices are out of His possibilities of His will. Is one better than the other? Depends on the individual. Is one right, the other wrong? Not according to him. Why? Because Kahea, Karna, Dittaa, Laina. Whatever you are saying is being done. Whatever you are giving is being taken. That's basically. But that humility, that meekness, I remember this statement very well right from the day of my college. My English professor used to say, in this world, meekness will always be taken as weakness. And I have found it to be true in my own personal life everywhere. The fact that you are not fighting back is immediately taken as a sign of your weakness. Well, why didn't you say something at that time? Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you do this? You pick a choice. Fighting back is not my choice. I would rather lose. But that doesn't work I got so many bad reviews in my professional career only because of that. Yes, I won't fight back. I said, I'll pay the price. I'm okay with it. No, it's not. You cannot be okay with that. Nothing is being done against his will. Nothing can be done against his will. That's not the possibility at all. सब कुछ तू है मेरे प्यारे तेरी कुदरत को बल जाई. Particularly the people who understand the Punjabi language, for them it is very important to understand that bal jai does not mean balahar jai. Bal means to actually surrender. Balahar there. It is actually to give up. Give up not out of helplessness. Give up not out of frustration. Give up because of reverence. Because you are awestruck. Because you are in that in that frame of mind where everything is awe-inspiring. In that sensation of awe, you surrender. Not out of scaredness. Not out of fear. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being afraid of him? You see, if you are afraid of somebody, you cannot get closer to somebody. An enemy like fear. If you are afraid of me because I am your enemy, you would not want to come closer to me. God is not that kind of enemy that you want to be so afraid that you cannot get closer. But there is another kind of fear, which is the fear of a father, fear of a mother, fear of a bigger brother, fear of a boss. What? There is a certain respect associated with it. Not a fear that he will hurt me, he will kill me, take advantage of me. It's fear that is coming out of the respect and reverence. So the word fear needs to be very clearly understood. Teri kudrat ko bal jai diyo does not mean that I am afraid of you. No, I am surrendering to you out of reverence, out of respect, out of love. That type of fear can create love. Other type of fear cannot create love. A fear within an enemy cannot create love. That's not possible. So that's a distinction that you need to understand. Yes, we are afraid of God, but not afraid. Don't come closer to me. Stay away. No. Dear life, take me into your bosom. Hold me closer. Give me the shelter. Protect. That reverence, that type of respect is what is indicated here. Teri kudrat ko bal jai. Pane ujjad pane raha. Pane literally means his will. Ujjad literally means to go on the wrong direction. So if somebody is going in the wrong direction, that's your will. Because you made that possible. Isn't it? This is where the other religions now will have a big conflict. Other religions have created something called the devil. I was watching the movie Devil's Advocate the other day. Why the closing statements were so powerful. I was very impressed by the dialogue writer. The guy who wrote that dialogue was really marvelous. Because he's the devil's advocate. He's saying, what kind of God is this? He makes the rules, first gives you the capability, then sets the rule in the opposite direction. And you wonder, see but don't touch but don't taste but don't swallow. And he says, while you are trying to satisfy his will, you are jumping from one corner to the other, not knowing which one is right and which one is wrong. Devil never does that. He says, do whatever you want. So devil is the worshipper of man rather than the punisher of man. Very well written dialogue. Argumentative. The only problem with the whole model is that he was going to create a devil and then punish him. Why create the devil to begin with? There is a certain type of psychosis psychologists talk about, that you will take a biscuit in hand or bread in hand and you will call the dog closer. Dog will see the bread, he's coming walking slowly closer to you. As he's close enough, you have a hidden stick, you take the stick out and you hit him. That's a typical type of psychosis. And they treat that in human relationships, people do that to each other, with each other. So I submit to you that the God does not have that type of psychosis. That he first wants to create something that he doesn't like, then he wants you to have it, and then if you choose to have it, he wants to punish you. There's no such thing. That's a very sick picture of a God. So we are going to fall into the trap again. It's all, there are good things and there are bad things. Everything that the physical body enjoys has been termed as bad. Now what to do? It is not termed as bad in the sense that the preachers are making you believe. Everything that the physical sense enjoys turns bad because it creates attachment for you. That is the problem. Attachment is the problem, not the thing in itself. If you can take a thing and enjoy it and not worry about it again and not think about it again, everything is fine and hunky-dory. But that doesn't happen. Whether it's the food, whether it's the person. You take a child, you hug the child. There is certain enjoyment, there is certain peace in that. Now child wants to run away and play and never come back to you and now you are sad. It is that part that is bad. That if you cannot deal with the physical senses, watch them how you use them. That is the message. But we don't create distinction between. So Pane Ujjud Pane Raha. It says, will the people go away? He is not saying that the one who is going the other way is wrong or bad or needs punishment. He's not saying that. He's saying he takes more time. Give him more time. That was the whole metaphor Jesus used to use. That is, all the sheep have come home. And in the evening when you count the sheep, there is one sheep missing. Now you have thousands of the sheep. What's the problem? But the sheep herder will get up and go look for that sheep. Why is he looking for that sheep? What's the problem? Very simple. That sheep has freed herself from the herd mentality. Otherwise, she would never have been lost. What's the herd mentality? Follow whatever everybody is doing. I mean, we used to laugh and make a joke out of it, in the villages particularly. If it's a very interesting observation experiment that we and I still vividly remember. If there's one lady sitting in the house crying, then when another lady comes in, she will sit down with her and she start crying out as a sympathy. And if a few ladies, more ladies follow, they'll all come and they'll keep coming and keep on sitting and crying, all assuming that something must be reason to cry. None of them will check what's the problem. The herd mentality. A sheep herder never walks behind his herd. He always walks ahead of the herd. Because the goat has or the sheep has the head down and they're looking at the hind legs. And wherever the hind legs are going, she's going in that direction. That's it. So now if thousands of sheep came home and one didn't, what does it indicate? That sheep was looking up, not looking down. Otherwise she would never be lost. She would have come home. And the one who has broken out of that habit is far more valuable than all of thousands of them put together. That's why the mystic says, you're not one only looking for God. God is looking for you. It is exactly the opposite. You have broken the herd mentality. And you are looking for Him. The moment you find that this one is looking for me, he starts looking for Him too. But whatever is happening, the one who got lost is also according to His will. One who came home is also according to His will. Pane ujjad, Pane raha. That's the message. Pane ujjad, Pane raha, Pane har gun gurmukh gavaha, Pane param paveta bahujuni, sab kich tise rajai. Whatever is happening, if somebody is in an illusion, param, caught in a duality, and can't get out of it, Gurbani says, do you want to find out if God is mad with you or not? There's one good test. So, is mad with you or not? There's one good test. Every good thing will look bad to you. The intellect that can discern a good advice will say, no, I don't want it. जेको आप खुवाए करता खुसलाए चंगियाई. He says he takes all the good things back from you and leaves the bad things with you. So every time somebody says something good to you, you are going to get mad with it. And what does that prove? There's nothing wrong with you. God is mad with you. That's a sign of it. The good intellect has been taken back, has been called back. Nothing is wrong. The beauty of this particular hymn is that it keeps on emphasizing all the things that we have been talking about for the last about month and a half. Every line is pointing out toward that discussion, one of those discussions. It says, whatever is happening, Pane param pave bahujuni. I have run into the people, if we talk about, are you not concerned with your next life? It's about, is there a next life? I don't think there's a next life. There's no proof of it. And it is mind-boggling that we immediately write this thing off. If there is no proof of it, then it's not there. There were times in this country when a father could not go to the court and claim somebody his child. Father's word is not taken. Only mother can say, yes, this is his child. The DNA testing is just a 5-10 years old phenomena. Fatherhood, motherhood was taken on the just a word, but the word of the mother, not of the father. We accept. If the doctor wants to ask you, you have a headache? Yeah. Prove it. What would you do? That will prove that you are mad, not that you have a headache. He says if the doctor asks such a question, you hate him. Can you prove love? I love you. Okay, prove it. Everything that we are living by, we are taking it as the probability of that this is how it's going to happen. There's no guarantee. But we immediately write off, well, nobody has come back from that world, so who knows if there's going to be another life at all or not. You live life according to how it feels right now. Qurbani is saying that you are living like this, but remember, you are living like this only because you are allowed to live like this. You think that you have made your life, you are in an illusion. Whatever your life is His gift. That's why the way you are living today and tomorrow, and it will continue that way according to His will. ना को मूर्ख ना को स्याना वर्ते सब कुछ तेरा पान. Literally translated, there is no wise man and there is no stupid one. Na ko मूर्ख, मूर्ख literally means the one who is not wise. Na ko स्याना means that one wise. Na ko मूर्ख na ko स्याना. For us, it is impossible to even, we immediately distinguish so and so is very good, so and so is not. So and so is very bright, so and so is not. We take so much pride in labeling everything. But Gurbani says, no. These are just varieties. These just shades that he sees. Someone like this, someone like that, someone like this, someone like that. Somebody is wise. He may be wise in one area or from one perspective and may not be wise from the other perspective. Nobody is complete. Nobody is perfect in any one area or the other. We put the labels on. Na ko मूर्ख, ना को स्याना, वर्ते सब कुछ तेरा पाना, अगम अगोचर बेअंत अथाह तेरी कीमत कहन न जाई. It says this, all that's happening that we are seeing is His drama. It is His will. It is His care, His leela. And it's never going to end. Agam agochar beant athaha. Meaning, it has no beginning, it has no middle, it has no end. It is cyclical in nature. If it stops, circle stops here, it will start somewhere else in a different format. It will continue. So one can immediately question us about how can Gurbani take such a stand that it will continue? Because based on their own experience, they have seen, observed the things stopping at one place, starting at another. If we look at the history, we can see the life coming and the life going, restarting in a different format, different way. The earthquake that just happened shifted the whole city by how many? 50, 60 feet. The whole city got shifted. Huge hills got formed inside the river. And this is happening in our lifetime, and the science is measuring them, and we are watching it, observing it as it's happening. But if we were to now look at the span of the time, which is millions of years, how many things have happened and how many things will happen, can happen. वर्ते सब कुछ तेरा पाना, अगम अगोचर व्यंत अथाह तेरी कीमत कह न जाई जियो. So then, where does this all lead? In the closing statement of this hymn, Gurbani says, Khak samtan ki dehe pyar. Khak literally means dust. Now Gurbani does not call the dust that we collect from the earth as a dust. That's not the dust he's asking for. Because that becomes ritual. Because people do that all the time. Try to touch somebody's feet and put it over here or put it in the hair or whatever. These are rituals. Dust from somebody's feet is not going to touch you where it needs to touch you. It needs to touch you in the heart, where you are feeling, where the sensations are. That is possible only if the energy, the meditative energy touches you. So whenever you are looking for a physical touch of any evolved soul, refrain from touching the cloth or touching the hand and touching the feet or touching the knees or whatever. That's not going to do anything. Because it's a false familiarity to begin with. What you want is the energy that it has produced through meditation. And that's possible only from the world. Listen to the world. Take that message with you inside. That is the only advantage. That's the only way of doing this. Aak santan ki deh pyare, aaye paya har tere dware, darsan dekhat man vadhaye, nanak milan subhai. So if it is his way, he will create these set of circumstances where you will be able to sit in a congregation like this, and you will be able to spend some time in his memory, in his thought, in a pure possible way, rather than thinking of somebody's selfish motives, selfish advantages, disadvantages, etc. So he says, look for that company where that is possible, that you can use that word, use that language that should touch you at your core, not in your brain, not in your mind. So that is the hymn 14th on page 98. We will conclude it here and we'll continue the journey next week. If anything that did not sound you good, made you feel uncomfortable, I apologize for that. If anything touched you, please accept it as a prasad of the Higher Almighty, and we'll open for any questions. Thank you for coming. A heavenly moment, the time speeds up. In a hellish moment, the time slows down. Outside environment for everybody else may be exactly the same, but for you it's not, because your internal clock is telling you what type of time you are having. So to create a universal hell and heaven for everybody, Gurbani doesn't buy it. Those are individuals. Those are personal. You create your own hell and live in it. Create your own heaven. Right now, and we've been going through this all through our life.